Hello, wonderful friends, and welcome back to Wake Up and Dream. Lisa and Sarah and I are here once again this week to just give you guys some more inspiration and encourage you guys to live your best lives. So we're glad you're here to join us. I feel like, ladies, we're kind of getting the hang of recording these podcasts and getting everything organized. It's been so fun working with you guys. So again, thanks for this opportunity to help other women to wake up and dream. So, today, you guys are in for a treat. We have a really inspiring yet deep and insightful quote that we'd like to share that each of us have really kind of taken on and making it part of our daily lives. So, today's quote is: "If you will not imagine yourself as other than what you are, then you remain as you are."
Yeah, I love this quote, but it's funny because I feel like had you mentioned this quote a year ago, I would have like rolled my eyes and been like, "What? That doesn't even make any sense." So I've come a long way in my journey of just this type of work, and it's interesting because having the awareness of this type of using your imagination and just dreaming bigger about your life, having this like newfound awareness in the last year. It's another thing that I feel that I've actually done in prior years. I just didn't really realize that I was doing it. I remember when my husband and I bought our first house, we went into this house that was kind of like the rugs were like terrible and this and that. And we just walked in and we painted a picture of what our life was going to be like. And we were like, we can do this, we can do this. Oh, we're going to rip up this part, like this rug is out. And we just like, we walked in, we didn't, there were already offers on the house. We walked in and we just had all of these like things that we were imagining and our life in this house. At the time we weren't even married, so it was kind of a big jump. But like, so we were just dreaming up what our future was going to be. But I didn't even realize that we were creating our future as we were doing that. So I really love that now studying these types of quotes. I'm thinking back through my life and where things like that came up that I didn't even have an awareness at the time.
Oh, Sarah, this is so good because I think what you did in using your imagination when you went into that house is not always easy for people. Like, we see what's in front of us, we see the daily grind, we see only what our physical eyes can see. And I think it is a skill that needs to be honed and practiced, and like it's like a muscle, it needs to be strengthened. And some of us honestly maybe have an easier time with it. I'm in the camp of I I have a hard time letting myself imagine something that isn't real right now. I don't know if you guys can relate to that, but I love to think, but it's been through my direct sales that I've been able to use and foster and, like, strengthen my muscle of imagination, but it didn't come naturally to me. And think about it, I mean, in school, when was the last time your teacher, like, had you sit back, relax, and imagine something? Like, it doesn't happen.
Right, exactly. And I think the only time I've ever experienced like imagine something is creating a dream board. I don't know if you gals have ever done that before, where you just collect these pictures, quotes, or whatever that might inspire you for what you may want in the future. Sir, this would have been great for your house to cut out little pictures and to have them in front of you, what your kitchen will look like, what this room would look like. And that's where I kind of started. I don't know, I think I saw an Oprah show maybe 10 years ago or something, and I started creating one as well. Um, but there's a difference between just having pictures in front of you every day or quotes. It's actually like showing up as her. Who is this six-figure earner woman who is this incredible stay-at-home mom, who is this present wife, and what is she doing on a daily basis to really, be her? Because a lot of our dreams, like you said, Lisa, they're not real to us. Like, what does that even look like? How do we have to show up? And I think this quote really reminds us of, if you have those things that you're looking forward to in the future, you can't just hope and pray that they're going to work, right? It's actually showing up every day, doing the things as that person. And when someone said that to me one day, of like, what would she be doing if she's a six-figure earner? If she is the best mom that she can be, what would that person look like? Or if you were in the best health of your life, what would that Kelly, that Sarah, that Lisa be doing on a daily basis? Would she be scrolling Netflix and eating Oreos? Or would she be committing to her goals of working out 30 minutes, or creating an amazing team with a network marketing business? Like, what were the things that person could do to get closer to those dreams?
And I love the progress of how we just opened up with this quote, because I feel like I'm still working, very much a work in progress, Kelly, on that point, in using the imagination, the skill of imagination on who I am being. And that whole concept I am working on, and it's not easy, but I feel like even just exercising it, like you were saying, Lisa, like exercising that like skill, it can start small, and it can start with like a vision board, which I also probably would have rolled my eyes about a year ago, but it can start in something like that, or like a house, or even just a room. Like you want to redo a room and just start using your imagination and a vision board to create that, and make that a reality. But it's so much more. This quote is really getting at you as a person, and just how can you move forward in what you're doing, and create and design that life. And I think it's such a powerful quote, but it's definitely something that I'm working on. So
Oh, Sarah, you are not alone. We are all working on it. None of us have arrived. And what I love is that we were made for expansion. We were made to evolve and become more of the person we were created to be. Like, that's what growth is all about. So if I'm imagining the same old, same old, same old Lisa, guess what? I'm going to show up as the same old, and I'm going to look back a year from now and not see a lot of difference. But this whole idea of imagining yourself as where you want to be, right? Having the impact that you want to have in people's lives, doing what you love, like not just settling for, a job that you don't love, but envisioning yourself really going after the things that light you up, the things that bring joy to your life, whether that's, envisioning yourself being that patient mom that you aren't right now in every moment, right? It's imagining, but it goes deeper than that, because I think, there's a hope and a wish that can be an imagination, oh, I one day I hope that I can, be in a job I love. That's just a thought up here in our conscious mind, right? It's just a thought. But when we allow ourselves to get quiet, to really paint that picture and get emotionally involved in that that visualization, that's where like it gets super exciting. And I've been telling my team, I used this analogy just a few days ago with my team, in something that I want. So first you have to know what you want. What do you want your life to look like? What are the things that bring you joy that you don't have right now that you want? And it's okay to want something because that's all about that expansion, right? We can't grow unless we really want something that we don't have right now. So so I told them, and I'm telling you guys, this is such a fun thing. I have been envisioning my husband and I owning electric assist bikes. Do you guys I know, right? So so we love to camp, but we also are trying to find things that we can do together and that don't cost a lot of money. Gas prices are going, So I'm like, this would be like super fun. So
What exactly is an electric assist bike? Kelly, do you know what it
oh,
is? I mean, I'm like imagining kind of what it is, but is there like an example that you can use?
yes. Yes, yes, yes. So it's a real bike. It functions just like a bike, except it's got a little button over on your left-hand side and
Like a
you
bicycle.
yes, a bicycle.
Okay.
Not
I didn't know
not
if
a
you know like a
moped, not a
motorcycle.
motorcycle. No. No,
So
a
you should totally get a
bicycle.
motorcycle.
A bicycle. So it's a real bicycle that functions just like a bicycle. But when you're going up a hill and you're getting old and you're not in shape, you can push the button and it's battery operated and you actually get an electric assist. So it starts propelling you so you don't have to, be exhausted and you actually get to the top of the hill. And there's 3 levels like I need a lot. I need turbo assist and it will give you more battery assist to get up the hill.
Interesting.
Yeah. So they're super fun. We but the first thing was I wanted to ride one, right? So going and like you did, walking through the house and envisioning and then maybe going to the carpet store and picking out, I started to envision myself riding the bike. I went and rode one. So I liked, do I like this? Is this something I want? And then I started to really imagine. So my husband's birthday is coming up, and I'm imagining him and I on a weekend away with these 2 bikes, and I'm gonna surprise him. He's going to love it. He doesn't know what podcasts are, so this is all safe.
Secret is safe here.
Right? So as I'm imagining it, I am getting more and more emotionally excited about this being my reality because I've created that emotional attachment to a future reality. That hasn't been my practice until this last year as we've been in, Julie Ciardi's coaching program. It's been fostered to evoke that emotion.
I think that's so key when you have like this fun little dream, whether it's, something fun with your husband or it's a career choice, but having that emotional piece to it is life changing because you almost want to like Lisa, you just lit up and just got so excited and big smiles and you were leaning forward and you were just talking about like you're living it already. And I think that's important for our listeners to kind of comprehend in a way is you can't just have imagination and dream of something amazing, like really dig in deep. I heard on a podcast once, like, if you have a dream, what's your why? But that always seems so vague to me. Like, yeah, it's my why because I want to be able to retire and send Jace to college and all these things. But then she mentioned going almost 7 layers deep. Like, why? I want Jace to go to college, debt free. Why? And then like taking it almost 7 levels and it brings out, Lisa, like you were that emotional piece of it's a part of you. And you almost like you know what you're wearing. You know what the weather is when you're riding those bikes together. You can almost feel like the interaction of your conversations, what street you're on. And that's how you start to imagine yourself as someone else. And I don't think, especially as mamas, that we give ourselves that opportunity or that grace to want more and to imagine something so exciting, whether it's bicycles or a new career or the best wife and mom we can be, or, starting a coaching class or writing a book. Like, really, journaling helps me with that. Really imagining and getting detailed about that, I think, is super key. And just seeing you, Lisa, and talk about, like, you have it all planned out. You have, and it will come true because you're living in that moment already as if it already happened.
Yeah, and I guess I just wanna add one thing, that this is not how I used to operate. Like, this is not my normal mode of thinking. I I as a stay-at-home mom 10 years ago, I couldn't. It was like, how do you imagine something? I'm just trying to survive the day, right? And it's been through direct sales, been through this coaching program that I've really, like, learned, literally practiced exercising that imagination muscle. And now it's like, it's where I find my joy, because if we just settle for, daily existence, or, I mean, you can love your life and still imagine it better, right? I mean, that's the beauty of it. So that's something that I think has really, it's not been my normal, like, I didn't grow up like that, but I've grown in it, and now I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so fun." But I had to let go of the results, let go of the timeline. I don't know when we're going to be able to do this, but if I have anything to do with it, like, it's motivated me to go, "Yeah, I'm making this happen."
So Kelly mentioned that she journals as a way to kind of get these ideas out. Um, Lisa, is there anything in particular that you do to let your imagination just run wild in these cases?
Yeah, I mean, journaling is very, very powerful. I also do that, but I think the what I have done more in the last year than ever before is that getting quiet. Call it meditation, call it just getting quiet. I don't care what you call it. It's just getting in touch with what's really important to you. And then I mean, literally allowing your mind to go from, instead of thinking it has to be, all worked out and have a plan and all of the things, just like go back to when you were a kid, you went to be and you just played in the sand. You didn't go, oh my gosh, we can't do that because, the sand needs to be this, and I don't have this tool, and I don't know what is it going to look like. I don't know if the sandcastle is going to be like something I really like, or maybe, like, kids, you never see kids analyzing, they just play. And so part of this, even this podcast purpose, is to inspire our listeners to play, to go back to, just allowing your mind that freedom to imagine something that's not your reality today.
So there we go. We have an action item for our listeners today, right? To take Lisa and Kelly's advice of getting quiet and journaling. And I will do these things as well as I'm exercising this muscle. And just imagine, the possibilities that exist, right? And what you really truly want. And yeah, I feel like it's just something that is just so it's an incredible tool that is not used enough in our adult life, Lisa, which is the point that you were just making.
Definitely, definitely. So yes, get quiet. If that means taking a walk, if that means getting up a little early with your cup of coffee and just sitting, guided meditation can kind of slow down your heart rate and get you centered. But asking yourself and honoring yourself in, what do I want my life to be? Like, what do I imagine? and then allowing yourself literally to go to the playground and imagine and play with your ideas without limits, without worrying about how you're going to pay for it. How is it going to happen? Is this realistic? What is my husband going to think? All of that. Leave that all aside and literally just allow yourself to play in your mind using that gift of imagination. It will be life changing. Believe me, it so well. If you loved this episode, you can connect with us because we would love to connect with you. So check the show notes for all of our contact information, and be sure that you are feeding that gift of imagination every single day. And we can't wait to connect with you and see you all next week.